You're now listening to the show about the shit in life that's just a bit too much, from the perspective of stand-up comics, with our hosts, Carmelo Bongiovi and Ken Krantz. This week's topic, Papa, Can You Hear Me? With our guest, Michelle Conrad. This is A Bit Too Much.
So were you raised one or the other?
Yeah, Jewish.
Yeah.
Well, we did do like Christmas and stuff, and then one year my mom canceled it.
Canceled Christmas.
She's like, we're not doing this again.
Yeah, I was like 8. Yeah, it was rough.
Oh, that's a good age to be done with Christmas.
Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah. Well, it's also like I feel like that's a little cruel because Christmas is so good.
It was cruel. Yeah,
right?
but I get
to
her
show
reasoning.
you that side of life. You're like, now you can have Christmas.
Now I know.
Now we're gonna just do that the one time.
I know. I felt like what was the movie with Andy Dick with the Hebrew Hammer when they I felt like the kids had like discovered the It's a Wonderful Life movie and then they just took it away.
Yeah.
No, I remember being like that kid on South Park because everybody on my block had Christmas lights and trees in the window.
Right.
And I'd just be staring out the window like what? Like
that looks
what?
like so much fun.
Yeah, but don't worry, you get a menorah.
No, we had the tree and everything.
Oh,
And
we
she's
never.
like,
Yeah, nothing says fun like a candle.
Me and my brothers did like a PowerPoint presentation trying to.
On like why you should have Christmas.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And you got it once. You got it once.
What?
You got it for the 1 year, right?
No, I mean I had it growing up until I was like.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you had it for a number of years and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So right around 8 when it gets like probably that's the apex of Christmas excitement.
Yeah,
They
sure,
were
because your
like,
toys start getting awesome.
So what was her reasoning?
So we moved. I remember, and at the new house there was no Christmas tree, and I just remember her saying like she did everything, and
this was like a divorce.
No.
Oh, okay. So okay. No. I thought maybe your
they stayed together.
split up. Okay.
My dad just like didn't really care. He was like, yeah, whatever. I think for a while we would do
such a dad thing, by the way. It's like whatever you want.
We would do like the presents.
We'll do Christmas. We won't do Christmas. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, I will literally. When it comes to holidays, men do this thing where they just stop caring. Once they get married, they go whatever. You
I don't.
It's a battle you don't fight as a husband.
Yeah. But no, we did like the presents by the fireplace for a little while, and then it would just like weaned off.
Wholesome.
Yeah,
that sounds so nice. And then eventually it was like, no,
yeah,
I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Look, I mean, Christmas as a parent, like you could be like really, you could really romanticize it and be like, oh, it's so amazing you watch it through your kids' eyes, but it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah,
and I got Christmas right now. It's like Christmas is exactly 1 month before my daughter's birthday. So it's like we go like it's an expensive time of year.
Yeah,
it's a lot to plan. You're basically planning gifts from November through January. In my case, like through the end of January, it's a lot. I can understand. I mean, pulling the carpet out at 8 years old is a little rough, but I can understand going like, I don't want to do this shit anymore, or like getting done with it at a certain point. Like,
I have 3 other siblings, so I don't know whose age was the worst.
What age were they then?
So I was 8. Then my brother must have been like 11. My other brother must have been 12. Mm-hmm. And then my sister was like 4.
Oh,
so
that's
probably
bad for everybody.
Right, yeah.
Wait, the 4-year-old. I'm gonna go with that.
I feel like she didn't even remember.
She wouldn't. Yeah,
my daughter's 4. If I took away Christmas next year,
you could just not even tell her Christmas was coming.
Right.
That's not true.
They don't have a cat.
They
watch TV.
It's not a 1-year-old.
Yeah. Do you think she's looking at the calendar?
She's looking at everything around her.
Oh, that's
true.
what
Christmas is like?
Yeah, you got to keep her locked in the basement.
All right. Yeah, sure. If I literally keep her sheltered from everything and she doesn't notice Christmas is there, it wouldn't be a big deal.
You're a mom, right?
Yeah.
You have 1?
2.
2 kids. So what do you do with?
18 and 14.
Oh my God. So what do you do with them?
What do I do with them?
I mean, I don't mean like for their life. I meant for like, do you celebrate Christmas with them?
I mean, we used to do it like more, but now, we'll just celebrate with my boyfriend and stuff and his family.
Yeah. It's like, just give me a gift. There's no magic in it anymore at that point. So it's just like, I want a gift.
I feel like I still had a little magic. No, I didn't.
You still had a little
No,
bit.
when I was
At
a
8?
teen.
When,
at 8,
when you were a teenager, yeah. No, you just, you know, at that point it becomes like everything else as a teenager. It's like, it becomes a little bit more of a selfish, like, all right, I just want my nice gift. I'm going to enjoy the fun of it. But like when you're a little kid, if I took Christmas away from my daughter, like my daughter is like a little lawyer or something. Like she's just like, she'd be like, well, last year, we fed that guy a cookie. There were track marks inside that. Like we went a little, you know, like what's going on. Like she recalls moments from past Christmases from like 2 years ago. She's like, remember when we had a thing where we had a Santa hat on the floor? So remember when Santa left his hat and she was okay. That backfired, by the way. She was like, but no, he doesn't have a hat. And like it was like a whole thing when we had to like explain. It was one of those things that we thought was gonna be so fun.
Now you're going to the post office to fucking send a hat to the North Pole.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a fun thing to do to a 2-year-old. And now she's 4 and she's still talking about it. She's like, did he ever get a new hat? I'm like, oh god damn it.
You only have the one?
Yeah. As we had the one and then we were like, should we have another? And we're like, no.
No.
No, we got a dog.
You started a puppy, right?
We got a puppy
It's
instead.
probably a better call.
I'm very jittery. Sorry.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
He'll be throwing you off.
No,
It's a lot of awkward male energy.
I'm
in
not
there,
used
you know?
to coffee. I've been having a couple weeks without alcohol, really coffee.
Why?
You mad at yourself?
What?
Are
why
you
would
mad at yourself?
Did you have an incident? We had to scale it back.
Yeah, I had to scale it back.
Punch somebody in the face.
No, but that's happened many times.
I consume so much. Not alcohol anymore, but so much caffeine.
Yeah.
You know, I think until your kid is like 10, you just have to like be okay with like eating over the sink and drinking coffee. You know what I mean? Like those, like you're like not a human. You're like not the adult you were before your kid for a little bit.
No, definitely.
And then you get over it, and then your kid gets older.
You
and
still
it's
got
like,
a little one, so you got to be like awake.
Yeah, you got to be like alert, and you can't be a dick. You can't be what?
Yeah, you gotta.
You know?
I could sleep through most of it.
Yeah, Daddy. What? Like when she starts asking questions, like and repeating and stuff like that, because that's the age of like repeating everything. You can't just be like, I fucking told you already. You got to be like alert and not scarring her for years to come. I mean, my dad did. My dad my dad was very sweet and then very mean. Like he was just so inconsistent with it that, I live every second trying to avoid the like, it's not that he was horrible, but it's just like, I think of the anxiety I had around my dad all the time. Like because he would just snap.
Really?
That like if I asked too many questions, my mom was very patient, but if I asked too many questions to my dad, he would just get mad.
Oh no, I had the opposite.
Your dad was very...
Yeah.
You seem like you had a real, like, special relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were cool.
And he's...
We were cool.
Yeah, like...
That's me being sentimental. What?
And did he recently pass?
Yeah, just about 11 months now.
Oh, that fresh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh.
I was saying before, I was like, last time we talked about dads who passed, I ended up going down a whole worm. I'm not going to do it this time.
No, now I want to know.
A whole wormhole about my dad. Well, maybe we'll get there. But I've had a lot of relatives pass at a very young age. My parents are both alive. I just don't talk to my dad anymore. But you had a very close relationship with dad, so that's a tough thing to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, I think it's just like I was pretty codependent, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like he was like a husband, kind of.
Yeah, just kind of like rely on him to do things or like call them for things, like one of those.
Yeah,
like,
even now.
What do I do in
had
this
to go
situation,
get a new
Dad?
tire yesterday or the day before. I told my boyfriend, I was like, if I was going to change my own tire, I would have been a lesbian. It's like, he's like, why don't you get a Subaru? But like, I just never had to do any of those things.
Right.
I don't know. I guess
Which is, I think,
spoiled.
you was telling your boyfriend he needs to do it.
Right.
No, I understand what you're
Yeah.
what you're getting at. It's like you missing your dad, but also partially you being like
learn how to change a tire.
You just step a fucking up,
No.
And I say that having no idea how to change it. I know how to pay for AAA.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I understood when I was like my wife when I met her, I was like she was never going to change a tire.
Yeah.
I understood that was.
Well, I still didn't change the
role.
tire, but I had to bring it to the guy to get it changed. He should bring it to the guy.
He should have brought it to the guy or change it if you have a spare.
Right. Well, he did. He put the spare on. He put his spare on, but my car didn't come with a spare.
That's the thing you would have.
Came with a tire repair kit, which is bullshit.
Did you find yourself in that moment going like, this is the thing I would have called, or like almost making the call? You know what I mean? Like there's this, like when you lose someone, sometimes who's very close to you.
Oh, I thought you were saying to like break up with my boyfriend.
Wish my dad was here so he could dump my boyfriend for me.
No, but I actually it's funny how me and my mom, because my mom's like telling me to call my dad's best friend to come fix the car.
He's the next best thing.
Yeah. She's like, call Puerto Rican Mike, because my dad was a regular Mike, and his best friend was Puerto Rican Mike. Regular Mike. Oh.
Which sounds like a pretty Staten Island thing to do.
Yeah.
By the way, just throw a culture or race on the guy.
Right.
But like, that like hollow feeling when you lose someone, it's like sometimes whatever it is you rely on them on.
Yeah.
When it's still fresh, like I feel like sometimes you almost do pick up the phone and call that person.
Yeah.
And you almost forget because it's like habit.
I still do it. My dad's been dead for I think next week's going to be 6 years.
How many voicemails have you left him?
And I literally
Is anyone checking this?
I literally reached for the phone to call him yesterday about something. Yeah. Like it never.
Yeah.
He would always.
You were probably pretty high, and you were probably like actually thoroughly thought he was alive.
He would always. He didn't really watch sports anymore, but he would read the sports section every day. Yeah. And in his local paper, it would be like this day in sports, it would be some wild statistic, something that's never happened in a game that's been around for hundreds of years. Yeah. So he would call me excited about things like that. So anytime I see something like that, my first instinct is to grab the phone. But I saw you post. So you posted something that I related to, which is why I reached out, because you were talking about, you took a break from comedy. It sounds like after your dad, you were, obviously devastated, but then you posted something like you thought you were ready to come back and you wanted to do shows and podcasts. So I remember struggling with that same thing.
Sure.
And I don't know how your dad died, but mine was like here 1 second, gone the next.
That's how
it was like an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember like I struggled with it. You know, like I almost wanted to be on stage right away, because not even to talk about it, just to have the distraction, because when you're on stage that you
shut it off. Yeah.
Yeah, you can shut it off for 20 or 30 minutes.
I did go on even like 2 weeks after for like a month or two.
Yeah.
And then it was good, because you have like, your friends around you and stuff. But then I was just working a lot, and I was taking care of this old lady, and I had to like work. She went to the hospital, and I had to work like, I was there 80, 70 hours a week, sleeping there. And so there's no way I could do comedy.
Right.
And then it
This
just
is a
kind of
draining
like,
thing,
yeah. But then, fuck her.
You took a little time off. How much time off did you take?
I think only like 2 months, 2.5 months.
Because it's weird when you take time off, because it's like, sometimes it's very good.
I'm like the queen of taking breaks.
Yeah.
I've always taken breaks. Like, they always make fun of me.
I think that's so smart. And I think more comics need to realize that's an option.
Yeah.
And then it's not the end of the world, and you're not losing your identity.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need it.
Sometimes when I come back,
makes you excited to come back, right?
Like my first set when I come back is usually great, and then it's like
everything's like pent up, and you're like ready to.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just like because I've had all the stuff I wanted to say. Right. But yeah, now now I just stop drinking when I perform, because I feel like I've kind of started to combine the two, when I'm not even really like a drinker, but it's like, it's just the
social
environment.
Drinking,
yeah, exactly.
Well,
like
it breeds that. I stopped drinking when I performed a very long time ago.
Yeah.
I feel, I also feel like I'm not as sharp. Like I just feel like I'll miss things that I would normally wouldn't. But I also was just the same thing. I'm like, no, this is not. I can't just every time I go out have like a bunch of drinks. Like,
you know what's funny is I pretty much only drink when I perform now. Like I don't drink hardly ever.
You drink a lot when you perform though?
No.
Because I'll bring a beer up with me or something, but I won't have a bunch of drinks ahead of time anymore.
I'll have a couple vodka drinks maybe. you know, but I have no problem. I have no problem performing drunk. I have no problem performing high.
Yeah.
But
you do everything high.
Yeah, I'll smoke.
It's the breaks are healthy, but you know, then I always feel like whenever something big happens, especially something tragic, sometimes I feel obligated. I don't know why. It's just in my head. But then again, everything in my head's a little fucked up. Like I'm like, oh, I should start talking about this. But sometimes it's just too fucking soon to process. Yeah. Like, have you talked about your dad on stage?
Yeah, I was talking about it like 2 weeks after.
Oh, you were? You were right into it.
Yeah, wow. How could you not?
I think that's great. Yeah. Some people could do that and do it really well. Like even famously, like some people have been able to like go right from tragedy into talking about it. I don't know. Maybe I need to take enough time to process to start finding it funny when something bad happens to me. But I think if you could do it, that's awesome.
Yeah, I made a joke the second he died. We were all sitting around. My uncle was the only one who laughed. It's his brother. Like we're all like, oh, I think it's his last breath. And I wasn't even wearing a watch, but I just looked at my thing and I went, call it. And my uncle started laughing. So, I mean, yeah. And then we were like crying, you know.
Yeah, that's a little levity.
Everyone like stared at me. I'm like,
I was making jokes. I was making jokes within hours of finding it. But also my dad died the way we all knew he was going to die. So.
What happened?
He was 78 years old. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know that I come from a line of this, but he was absolutely obsessed with health and fitness. He lived on a beautiful house right on Lake George. Mm-hmm. He would go boating every day, like canoeing. He would ride his bike every day. Mm-hmm. And he'd gotten into a couple like car accidents on his bike where he went over the hood.
Oh, geez.
And I remember the first time he didn't he didn't tell anybody the first couple times it happened, but then we were all going up to visit him and his like face was fucked up. He had like scrapes. He had to tell us what happened. And I remember when he told me thinking, my dad's never going to give up like working out. This probably is how he's going to die, is getting hit by a car. And there's something, and I think this is true with a lot of comics, but there's something fucked up in my head where I immediately go to the worst case, darkest place scenario.
Every time.
That's my starting point, and then I try and work my way up. And I remember thinking, one day I'm going to get a phone call, probably from his ex-wife, who he was still friendly with, that lived down the street, that my dad got hit by a car and it's done.
Wow.
And then I tried picturing like how I would process that and go through it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was like, I'll probably be sitting home alone one day and she's going to call and I'm going to pick up, happy to hear from her. And that is 100% how it played out.
So wait, he got hit by a car?
He got hit by a car on his
Did I know this? I don't think I knew that.
I don't think I ever told you.
Yeah. Because I remember when Sicoli was here, we were talking about his dad's car accident. We didn't get into that.
His dad got a car accident too.
Yeah.
His dad was
he was on a motorcycle.
So wait, your dad was on a bike? Is that what happened?
He was on a bicycle, and from the reports, the accident was actually kind of his fault, you know? So it was like,
right.
I was actually happy, you know, I was happy to hear it was his fault because then I couldn't be mad at anybody. The dude that hit him, they took him in and they tested to see if he was drunk or under the influence, and he wasn't, which made it like now I don't have to be mad at this guy my whole life. If
he was driving recklessly.
Now I actually feel bad. You know, I actually kind of feel bad.
Sure,
for
that guy will always have that.
Right. But it was like exactly the scenario I played out in my head happened. And then you talk about like, we went through his emails and he was on his way to get his taxes done. Mm. And we saw an email from his accountant canceling his appointment saying, can you come instead at like noon or 4? Mm-hmm. And whichever one my dad picked, he decided he was going to drive into town and then do a bike ride before he got his taxes done. And it's like, he picked the wrong time and sealed his fate. It's fucking weird how that shit works.
Yeah.
So he's
Like,
a tax,
I'm getting chills just
he's a
thinking
tax
about
evader.
it.
Is what you're saying.
Technically, yeah, he went out of he went out of tax evasion.
Yeah, what you're saying is the IRS is that fucked up.
Yeah.
Your dad was like, no, I don't.
My dad was a good driver. Cancer got him, not an automobile. But yeah, it was fast. 5 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky. That's actually lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because that drawn
it's
out
not fair.
could be very brutal.
But I feel like I also kind of like envisioned it. Do you feel like sometimes you like put that thought in the air?
Like you manifest it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not trying to say we both killed our dad.
No.
It's a little bit what you said.
If I did, my family's going down with me because we would all joke about it. We'd be like, Dad, we're not burying you in spandex. Like, it's fucking embarrassing.
But let me just tell you, it doesn't work because my dad's alive. Could you?
Man, I got enough blood on my hands. I'm not taking out your dad.
No, I'm just saying. It's,
Take
you
him
can
out
think it's harder
yourself.
to get. It doesn't really work like that. Unless you're like an X-Men or something. So it was 5 months from the point of like what diagnosis?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough when it's sudden like that. But it's I mean the alternative to if it's like terminal,
Right.
drawn out. I mean that's one of the most brutal things you can go through is watching someone just sort of like start deteriorating over a long period of time. I think one of the most brutal things to watch, I've seen this before, is like dementia. It's one of my biggest fears in life because dementia will first just fuck with your lifestyle and then everyone's lifestyle and then eat away
Dementia
at you physically.
is crazy. I was
It's
taking
the
care
most
of this
brutal
woman.
thing in the world.
It really is. I was taking care of this woman with dementia, this like Nona in Brooklyn.
Is this the one that you said fuck her?
No. That one, no.
She couldn't remember my name. Fuck her.
No, the poor lady with dementia was fine. But she would like pee. She would like go and pee on the floor.
Yeah.
It got to the point where she was like too advanced for me. I didn't want to like hurt her or accidentally or.
Yeah. Wait, is this so taking care of people is kind of something you do for a job, right?
It was what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right after my dad died. Yeah.
Because it just sounds like you took in all these old ladies.
Yeah.
Like if I don't know what you did.
I'm like a foster mom.
Foster mom for grandmas.
Yeah, actually.
A Nona would be a great thing to foster. Would cook for you. My Nona, my actual Italian grandmother, cooked for me when she could barely walk. Because I demanded it. No.
Yeah.
Because she would just like, it's until she like went into a home for the last like year of her life. This woman would literally, big lady, she would have one of those chairs that would like basically dump her off. Because it would like recline so slowly till she got up.
To a standing.
And she'd be like, and I had to go down there to like help her after school with whatever she needed. And she's like, and she would speak to me in Sicilian and just tell me she was going to like cook veal for me or something.
Yeah.
It's also what led largely to my like overeating habits is I would eat dinner before dinner. Like I couldn't tell my parents I was eating dinner. But this old lady was like, she lived for it. So she just was like, I want to cook for you because I think she knew I was the last person she was going to be cooking for in her life. She had like 8 kids.
Yeah.
The cooking was her whole life, was like taking care of her family, from Sicily, came to America, still very much did that here. And then eventually like couldn't do that for the whole family. So like her kids started doing it. But like, I think that she knew because I lived upstairs from her and I would come down after school. I was the last like person she could like take care of in a way, even though I was like helping her. She's like, let me just get up and cook you something. And I knew I was giving her, but her food was fucking delicious. So I like accepted the gifts, but at the same time, but it was like, I felt like I didn't know at a time when I look back, I know I was giving her like, I was your last one. I was your last like, grandkid that you get to like do something for and stuff,
My grandma wasn't really a cook.
I can't remember a single meal that either grandma ever made.
My grandma would make me like tuna fish on rye, and she would get the meals on wheels. We get the chicken. I'd eat the chicken from there.
Well, it does make sense. The Jewish grandmas wouldn't necessarily be when you know Jewish cuisine. There's a few good things in there, but
no, I feel
it's
like
not
Well, you could learn to cook something else.
Sure.
Like my mom when she would cook was a good cook.
No, my mom can cook, but I feel like that generation probably can't cook. They just came and were eating like beans and stuff. I don't know.
My grandma was mostly just racist.
Yeah. My grandma was like a fattest.
And with that, she was chef's kiss.
Somebody was asking me recently, they were like, my grandma always used to make me watch People's Court. What would your grandma make you watch? And I was like, her purse when the waitress was black.
That's funny.
And Fox News.
She was trying to sell her house at one point, and you know how the realtor will come and put the sign on your lawn with the picture of their face?
Yeah.
So this is the lady that owned the realty company. She comes and puts a sign on my grandma's house, but the realtor was black. And at night, my grandma would go out and take the sign down, trying to sell her own house.
Well, depending on the neighborhood, she might have been.
This was like, it was Florida. It was like Boca Raton.
Well,
that's where all the old races go to retire.
Then she was doing the right thing by taking the sign down.
But I love that her racism superseded
her
need to sell
desire to raise money.
It's like, I'm not going to have a picture of someone who's not white in front of my
Yeah, the woman I was taking care of would like talk to her dead husband all the time, and it was kind of creepy. She'd be like, Carl, or whatever his name was. I'm like,
I'm only laughing because normally it's like you mistake a person for another person, but there's literally no one there.
No.
Well, it's like at the point where it's so advanced that it's like also
it was
hallucinating a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I've seen this scary movie before.
Yeah. Well, and and that is right.
And I just like turn around. She's like she's standing in the doorway like this. I'm like, all right.
She didn't have
I don't even have a degree. I should go home.
Mention, it was a paranormal experience.
She's fine now. Once I left, she's fine.
She maybe you brought the spirits. But that's tougher, man, than like the quick stuff, like I had my first like experience with like loss was my uncle. Was like, I don't know. He lived down. I had a lot of people live downstairs from me. I lived in an apartment, giant crack house. No, my uncle bought this house, and then my parents rented the upstairs. Like we all lived upstairs. But my uncle, who was divorced, was like he brought his mother, who lived in this little tiny Brooklyn apartment. He's like, you're gonna come. We went to Queens, and he was like, you're gonna come live here. So he lived downstairs with his mom. Bought this house, but like he just it was like anyone who like didn't own a house at the time that was in this family was like, come live in this house. So my parents didn't own a home. We rented the upstairs. He lived and his mom lived downstairs, and then he died. I want to say he was like 42 or something, and it was just like fucking out of nowhere. Just like a heart attack. But he was 42, seemingly in good health. Good health for an Italian with a pot belly, but like seemingly energetic guy. And then that was, because it was New Year's Day, so we were like with him on New Year's Eve. Was it New Year's Eve? Something like that. And we were like with him, and he was fine, seemingly to me. I don't know if he was feeling all right, but then it was next morning. It was like I heard my dad crying in the hallway and like punching the wall, because my dad's solution to things is punching. Yeah. So he's punching the wall. That's what woke me up, because he's punching my bedroom wall. And I was like, God damn it, what happened? My brother came in. He's like, Uncle Joe's dead. Oh, and I was like, and
Uncle Joe's dead, and Dad is pissed at the wall.
Dad's breaking the furniture.
I think the wall may have had something to do with
it. Yeah, right. Like if my Uncle Joe, he died by running into the wall.
42 is young though.
Yeah. Just my dad's solution to things is just punch. High
triglycerides. Right?
Yeah, and so he just is like, whatever aggression I can get out, and but that was like I don't know. I want to say it was like 8 or 9 or something like that, some around that age, and it was just like that took out it's one of those moments you look back and you're like, that was like a milestone or a pivot in my life, a dark pivot in my life to like everything's great, everyone I love is all here all the time, and knew the concept of death obviously by that point, but it was like that, oh, people could just die like that, right? That first realization, like, oh, that could just happen. Like, then I'm looking at my parents like, are you gonna die? Like, my brother, like, that's where your mind goes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
You know
my
what's so
fuck up
funny is that you're still looking at your dad like, are you going to die? Are you ever going to die?
Yeah. The difference is my tone. Right? I used to be like, wait, are you going to die? And I'm like, are you? Are you?
That's funny.
You know, but it's like, that's a fucking, such a giant shift. I think about that with my daughter. Like we have, old grandparents or something like that. I'm like, oh God, that's going to be that. As a parent, you're like, that's going to.
In case you get an animal to kill.
Well, we have a puppy now, so hopefully that lasts a long time.
Something a little older.
Yeah,
like an iguana.
Right. Oh, we do have fish.
Yeah, get a
We
goldfish.
do have fish, which I've talked about begrudgingly.
I killed a goldfish when I was 5.
Yeah.
Not on purpose.
You're a serial killer. That's what we're learning.
Maybe.
What do you like want to take it out and play with it?
No, I overfed it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of kids kill fish that way, which is also a good lesson. Like, you can kill things.
My sister
Your actions can be murderous.
My sister killed a turtle when she was little.
Oh, that's
trying
a little
to give
stronger.
it a bath.
Yeah, trying to give it a bath.
Put it in boiling water.
Oh,
boiling
God.
water.
So she's a cook.
She was young. Yeah.
She made turtle soup.
She was young and she boiled water.
Oh man, you want to hear something awful?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. My aunt. So it was like my mom's sister and my uncle, her brother. Mm-hmm. So they weren't like married aunt and uncle, but my uncle had a dog and my aunt had a dog, and they bred them for puppies. But some of the puppies were born stillborn. And my aunt was told to take one of the stillborns to the vet so they can like determine what was wrong or something. And I swear I'm not making this up. Somebody, I guess they had been grilling and somebody had left the barbecue on, and my aunt was like walking out the back to head to the car, forgot something in the house and placed this dead puppy on top of the barbecue. And by the time she came back, it was like all fucking burnt up and singed. I think like on top of the cover, maybe. Yeah, like
so she smoked it.
yeah. And by the time
she didn't feel the heat coming off the thing, if it was on.
I don't know, but the funniest thing is I remember hearing that story, and like 10 or 15 years later, we were together, and I brought it up. And I watched both my cousins' jaws drop to the floor, and I realized she had kept that a secret from her family.
And you just let
the cat out of the bag.
You don't tell people that's
was this
such
in Cleveland, or where were they eating the dogs? In Cincinnati? Where was that?
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
You know what, you guys?
She just didn't want to go to the vet. That's really what
maybe.
She's like, whoa.
Yeah. But like if a grill is on.
Yeah, I don't listen.
Feel the heat
now the message of this is don't leave your grill unattended.
Or like if you're holding a dead animal, don't just go like, don't find a random place to put it down.
Maybe have it in like a
bag. Take it back inside with you.
Yeah.
She just had it like loose.
I don't.
Rabbit keychain. Yeah.
Just like
This is literally going back over 30 years, so I don't know all the details.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing the result.
We had turtles for like I don't know, like a year. And my brother was like, I want some turtles. And then they put a turtle tank in his room, and they were like, oh, it fucking stinks like algae and all this stuff. So they were like, we have to keep the turtles outside now. So we took this tank, but I don't even know if it was like okay for them to be out there through the winter or whatever, And they were like, it was just like a fucking open tank. It was the most Italian rigged tank you could see. It was a tank with a few rocks in, a little bit of water, and then like just like a wooden plank over it, like not a real cover to this thing.
No filter or anything.
No, it was like whatever. It was just, my parents didn't know how to have pets. They just ate animals in Sicily. They don't know what pets are.
They were just breeding them, raising them for
So
meat.
and then my dad would like clean the tank sometimes, which is just required. Like he would take the 2 turtles out, throw them on the grass, and then just hose it down and then throw them back in. And then he apparently he lost he got rid of the turtles. But he told us, they ran away. I'm like, a turtle ran away from you? A fucking turtle ran away. And that's what he told us. And then,
so what do you think happened?
He fucking got rid of them. They either threw him out. He probably threw him in the garbage alive.
Flushed them.
Yeah. No, they were bigger. They were too big to flush.
Oh.
But they were, they were like, just like you could like fit them in your hand, kind of. Which reminds me, I had a standoff with a rabid raccoon over these turtles once because I took the turtles out. I used to think it was like fun to put them on the grass and like watch them walk around. And I would feed them like little snails and stuff. And this raccoon came on a fence and was like looking down at them, and it was like foaming out the mouth. Like this raccoon had rabies in Queens, or maybe it was crackhead. I don't know. It was very possible he just did.
Could have just been Puerto Rican, Mike.
Yeah, he had cracked out black eyes. And I remember like having a standoff with this raccoon, and I was like, do I love these turtles enough right now to like stand up to this raccoon?
Like 98% freaking fatal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was young enough to maybe not really understand the implications. Like, I think I knew in my head, I'm like, that's a raccoon with rabies, but I don't think I even knew how fatal rabies was. I ran like a little bitch. I just ran inside, and I think the raccoon was so fucked up, he just left.
Yeah, who's like their predator?
I think raccoons would eat turtles. Like, I think that's a thing. They're like raccoons are like
they gotta like
larger
know to
rodents
flip them
like
over,
that
right?
In the wild, like foxes, raccoons. I think they do go after turtles. It's my tragic experience. At least that's what I'm saying.
You gotta be smart to eat a turtle.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That's a
smart animal.
That's a food source. I say like I would eat anything. It's a food source that I think like I would try turtle.
Yeah,
I would eat. I don't know if there's a food like an animal that I wouldn't eat.
Didn't you tell me you ate gerbil?
No, not gerbil.
Hamster.
Hamster.
You're making it weirder. Guinea pig.
Oh, I'm making it weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Guinea pig is like what they eat in like South America, right?
Yeah. That was like wherever the brown people are. That was like, over there.
Down past the Gulf of America.
No, yeah, it was in Peru. Yeah, I didn't go to I didn't go to Petco. Buy a gerbil and fucking bite on him. Like, what do you mean?
I like how you're like a gerbil. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It was a rat.
It's different. It's fucking different. It is a gerbil.
It's like a Cornish hen, right?
Eating a gerbil would be like I ate a field mouse. That's fucking weird, man. A guinea pig is, substantial. Let me tell you something. Guinea pig is pretty great.
Yeah.
First time I had it like a dish.
You had it more than once.
Well, I had it twice during the trip in Peru. I was in Lima, which is like a big city, and then Cusco, which is like right outside Machu Picchu. And I didn't go to Machu Picchu. It's not like I did some exotic hike or anything. I was working. But I went to this restaurant, and it was like, it was like this like sort of like super high-end restaurant. And they were serving guinea pig, and it was like this really beautifully presented. It's just like pork. It looked like pulled pork, and it tasted like pulled pork. And it was like with like other vegetables and other things on it, right? So it just felt like a dish. I was like, I could eat guinea pig. But the second time I ate guinea pig was like a few days later. I was in Cusco, and we were it was like this sort of documentary thing we were filming, and we were filming these like indigenous women who like make their own garments and sell them in town and all this stuff. And they were like, "We're gonna cook for you." And we were like, "Oh no, you don't have to." We all were like had altitude sickness from being there because it's so elevated there, and we were all not feeling good. Our camera guy had just like thrown up right outside their house. Oh, God. So, and they lived in this room is about the size of their entire house that like generations of people lived in, right? And so there was like a room that we didn't see that was like their bedroom with like bunk beds in it. Like there was just like 10 people lived in this little house, and they were like, "Let's cook for you." So you're like, it just assumed that's like a thing you don't turn down because it's like a cultural respect thing. So you're like, okay, sure. They were serving us hot cocoa leaf tea, like a cocaine leaf tea, basically, because it like helps with the altitude sickness.
Yeah, and
also makes your mouth really dry.
Did that like get you high?
Yeah, not high. It's like having 4 cups of coffee though.
Okay.
Not like, oh my God, it's not cocaine high, but it's like, but it is similar. It's the super hot, like but we were
chemical,
all anyway. So then she's like, we're gonna cook for you, and I see on an open fire this like hand spit, and there's just like this fucking stick going through a whole guinea pig's ass through the mouth, like just lined up on a stick, basically,
like a human centipede
and like
of guinea pigs.
Just taking out the entrail.
Let me tell you.
No, they weren't actually attached, but on the stick they were like lined up. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I know exactly what you're talking about, like the street food looking thing.
Yeah. And they were just doing that, and then they fucking took it off, cut it in half, put it on a plate. It's like potato, cheese, and like a boiled potato, a piece of cheese, and this guinea pig that was just cut this way over.
Where does the
that
guinea
was
pig
a lot
come
more
from?
crazy. What's that?
What animal like is that closest to? The
Fucking
guinea pig.
rat.
It's a Is it a
You
rodent?
know, but it does look like a giant.
It's considered a rodent.
Yeah, it does
It's
look
like
like
a giant hamster.
No, I know what they
it
look
is like-
like.
it is like
but
a
I
giant
mean, like
hamster.
it's
a rodent.
it is a
it's
rodent.
Yeah, but they have such a population of them in Peru and South America. They just eat them.
Yeah,
Let
You
me-
walk down the street in Cusco, they're like holding them like on a stick like that, like just down the
but
street.
they're not
Just-
that big, right? They're like this big, right?
yeah, right.
Let me tell you how fast and comfortable I would be disrespecting their culture.
Yeah.
And being like, no, I would be like, I would be like Kate Capshaw in Temple of Doom, you know, with that
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah.
I would be like, do you have a salad? Do you have any vegetables? I wouldn't even eat vegetables,
Leaves.
but like,
Well,
Yeah.
here's part of my problem is that
can I just get some bread?
am such a fucking fat ass at heart that I look at a situation. I didn't feel good, but I still look at a situation that like Anthony Bourdain. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy that.
He also
I'm gonna,
ended up killing
do
himself.
this.
So
Sure. I'm not saying these are healthy lifestyle choices.
yeah.
I'm saying that I'm the kind of person that if I'm in a foreign land and you're going to offer me a weird meat, I'm going to eat it because I want it. I'm also curious about it.
yeah.
Just from a taste level.
I would
Like,
be
I'm
like-
like, if somebody was like, monkey, this is monkey. It's not a thing I'd want to eat. But if I'm in the right situation and I think they made it well, I'll fucking try it.
Monkey, I think it's too close to us to eat, right?
I'd eat human.
Yeah.
If the right chef
They
made
say human tastes like pork.
Say it, that sounds appeasing to me. I'm not, again, it's not saying I want to eat human. I'm saying if the right chef made human. Would you try a morsel? Would you try one bite of human?
No.
What if it was properly spiced? Like brined?
Do we
You
have a
wouldn't
choice
try
on
a little?
which human it came from?
I won't even eat Brussels sprouts. You think I'm going to eat a
Oh,
fucking
Brussels
arm?
sprouts are so good.
Yeah. No, I would eat. I'm kidding about the human thing, but I would eat any.
I don't know if you're kidding.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he's kidding either.
Okay, like if wait, let's hear the scenario here. Let's like Wolfgang Puck was like, I made a little human. It was like, ethically killed, grass fed, whatever. Like I got a little human steak for you. No one's gonna find out in that scenario. Maybe I take a bite. I mean,
if it's Wolfgang Puck, though, he can like take a piece of your shoe and make it taste good. So that's not like a real test.
No, but
You know?
well, that is the only time. Like, I wouldn't want to eat human for the
Like if
purpose
I made it.
I heard about you buying minute rice for, and I wouldn't want to make anything you made. I wouldn't eat anything you made.
Yeah, that's
You told me
fair.
you made boxed mac and cheese. I'd probably turn it
So
down.
you just got to make sure the meat gets to room temperature, and that's it.
Right. Then it's good
The
sear.
human, yeah.
Yeah, right. I enjoy cooking and eating so much that I think I would. I don't know. I just can't think of an animal.
I did read a story. I don't know if it's true, but this guy had like his foot amputated, and he like ended up serving pieces of the foot to like a dinner party.
Oh, like not telling them. Like, oh, here, try this meat.
I forget if he told them or
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
That's like when you hear people eating placenta.
it's definitely something I read, but I guarantee it's not.
That's
true.
like a thing. Like
Yes,
some people eat
that's
placenta
true.
after, and they're because of whatever vitamins.
Well,
that
they take it in like a pill form. They're not like eating
Oh, is that what it
the
is?
slop.
Oh,
yeah.
thank God.
Not like cereal.
I thought they were like Rocky, just dropping it in a
No.
fucking glass.
No, I believe they
Oh,
take it.
No,
they-
I assumed it was a dish like placenta over polenta.
Yeah.
Like I would do that if it's a good creamy polenta. I like polenta, right? So
Yeah.
I would try. I don't think I would try that. I don't think placenta sounds fucking horrifying.
I mean, but apparently that's like supposed to be very good for you. It's like up there with like the cord blood.
Sure, it's
Crap.
also like adults who drink breast milk. Like there's a thing. But no,
I taste.
I'm
you
not
never-
going to
you
drink
didn't taste
bodily
it?
fluid.
You didn't taste it?
No.
No, I didn't taste it.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No.
I tasted mine. I at one point I was able to squirt it across the room. No, really.
Well, I feel like it's not as weird tasting
Yeah.
your own. I feel like if you're a woman and you're producing breast milk,
I get that, like wanting to know what your kids.
I mean,
get that.
it actually just tastes like sugar milk, kind of. Yeah.
Oh, it's sweet.
It's sweet. Yeah.
Oh, that kind of changes it for me. Like a coquito.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like a
And the
log
babies
rice.
prefer that to like formula and stuff, because formula tastes like crap.
Yeah, it smells like crap too.
Yeah.
Well, this show got very random and weird.
We're all over the place.
I know. I may as well tell this story now then, since this is apropos of nothing we've talked about. But I just had, and I've been doing stand-up 15 years. I have had more uncomfortable heckler moments than I care to remember.
At some point, you start thinking, could it be
recently?
Me?
It's no. I walked away from this thinking it could be me.
No, I feel like everyone's just getting too ballsy in the crowd.
No, I've seen Ken. It's him.
It's funny you say. It's funny you use the word ballsy. Now let me tell you about this transgender lady.
I read about this.
Yeah,
I want to hear.
I'm at a show in New Hope, and there was. Now listen. Let me be very clear. I'm a very live and let live type dude. If you're transgender, I support you. You want me to call you whatever you want me to call you. I'll call you anything, and I'll treat you with respect.
Whatever a racist Nazi says, you know.
This lady was very chatty with the other comics before me, to the point, I mean, she was really derailing the dude before me, his set. This lady, I'm not saying this to be mean, did not look like a lady. There was nothing about her where you would be like, oh, that might. She looked like, and I'll.
You say she didn't look transgender at all?
She did not. She looked like a dude. She looked like a dude with long hair. She looked like a wayfish, and I'm not saying this to be mean. I'll show you the picture off air, and you're going to agree. She looked like a wayfish Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. And the comic before me, she kept heckling him, and he was getting frustrated with her. A couple times he was like, hey, buddy, can you give it a rest?
Pal. Yeah. No one wants to gender them.
No. But nobody, he did. He was assuming it was a dude.
Right.
He was, at one point, he was like, brother, you just got to let me get through this. And at no point was she like, hey, you're misgendering me. Hey, I'm not your brother. I'm not your buddy. She didn't even address it. Okay. So there was nothing leading into this encounter that had me thinking this was anything but a dude.
Okay.
I get up. I happen to have a joke about transgender women where it sounds mean, but I believe it gets to the right place. Mm-hmm. But I talk about how hot transgender women are like the turkey bacon of people. Mm-hmm. They look like the real deal until you taste one. And then you're like, hey, this is still pretty good. You know, it'll do. Yeah, right. I don't know that I would call it bacon, but it's fine. But
it's not a vicious joke.
No, if anything.
No, I actually think it sort of comes out on the right, on the side that I want presented.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it makes you, like, if anything, seem like an ally.
Right.
Like, yeah, we're all the same.
Now, I understand being called turkey bacon could be taken offensively. I get that, but the way I like to do comedy is...
Yeah, you gotta...
Yeah, misdirection.
Up and down. Right,
make it sound like it's going to be fucked up, and then, it's not fucked up at all.
Yeah. Or the other way around.
Yeah. And... Do you know Dave Slagle?
Yeah, I know the name.
So Slagle's there. Slagle's a good friend of mine, and he's sitting behind, so he's watching. And he said when I got to that turkey bacon joke, she was drinking a can of something. And when I said hot transgender women are like the turkey bacon of people, he said she crushed the drink like that.
Not really proving your point.
Which is like kind of cartoonish.
Lady. Yeah.
So he whips out his phone and immediately starts filming.
Good on him.
So
That's the moment you want.
I say hot transgender women are like the turkey bacon of people. She crushes her drink and all of a sudden she's like,
someone hates turkey bacon.
Hello, my name's Anne. I'm a transgender woman. It's nice to meet you.
So she stood up
and I was like,
She like stood up and did the whole like in a condescending
not standing up, but letting me know. And then I was like, Anne, this sounds like it might be a little uncomfortable. You know, like I tried kind of joking my way through. She's like, what are you trying to say? That we're not people? I'm like, no, I'm just telling jokes. Yeah. I'm like, I feel like you heard every other joke tonight and knew it was a joke. And
until it hit hard for you.
And I'm like, she tells me that I'm hateful. She tells me to go fuck myself. And then I'm sitting there like, now I'm like, oh, I want to tell her to go fuck herself,
Yeah.
you know, but you can actually see it on the tape where 2 or 3 times I'm about to, but then I'm like, no, not the right way. Not the right way. Not the right way.
One. You can't go there.
Yep. So I said to her, I was like, you know what, Anne, if you just hung on through the punchline, I think you would see that I'm actually on your side.
Right.
And I believe you have the rights, same rights as everyone else. Yeah. So she was like, so get to the punchline, funny man. She sounded like Bane from Batman. Get to the punch. I was born into darkness. You know, like.
Yeah.
And she just kept saying, get to the punchline, get to the punchline. So I'm like, you think I don't have the balls to do the punchline in front of you? She was like, no, I don't. So I did it, and it didn't land. But I was like, and then she was like smirking that it didn't land. I was like, you kind of took the piss out of this, right? But now I'm afraid the room's going to turn on me. The room starts turning on her.
As they should.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because she's disrupting the show.
Especially for you to stop and be like, you know, if you would listen, you see them on your
It does
side.
suck when you have to. It's hard to dig out of those moments, though, sometimes. And the room, once the room gets uncomfortable, it's a hit or miss. You can either say something to break it, and everyone's, fuck.
I'm like,
but if it's still in argument, that's a hard one to get them back on. Even if it's that good of a joke, it's a hard one.
All right, I'm going to ignore her. I'm going to go in the other jokes. Somehow, like by hook or crook, I get the room back.
Yeah.
And I've got them back where it's kind of like hot. And then I make a joke about how I'm divorced, and Anne smirks and says something like, of course you are. And I said, well, if I'm being honest, my first wife was a transgender lady, and I just seem to get on her nerves, and I don't know why. And I just saw her like this, you know, like the smile starting to form and laugh.
Her finally giving up.
And then by the end of my set, she was just full on laughing at my like I have no idea.
Oh, you won her over.
I have no idea how I pulled it off, but I also didn't stick around to like talk to her. You know, I just
you weren't poking the bear. A lot of people would be.
I just text my wife. I was like, I think now might be a good time to split. She was like, yeah.
Let's get out of here. Yeah. Nothing. You got her back. You don't want to keep going on that.
Right. Yeah.
No,
yeah, that's a tough one.
I would probably keep going. I'd probably be like, all right, everyone go suck her dick.
You know what? I did. I could have empathy for you. Know, I could understand that, but I don't think she handled it so.
At that point, it's not even like that's like a you issue. Not. I mean, like it just seems like you're like that person's an asshole, not whether or not they're transgender or not.
Yeah, but what sucks about that is that the vibe gets poisoned in the room, and it's hard to win it back. It's hard sometimes.
The only thing I feel bad about, where I felt like, oh, I wish I could have had that one back. She kept saying, "It's easy to punch down, isn't it? It's easy to punch down." I said, "It's kind of fun too."
It's easy to punch it down. She'd be like, well, you're putting yourself down.
Right. You're referring to yourself as down.
Yeah. Right. Why do you consider yourself not equal to me? Like, why am I punching down right now and not just dealing with a heckler?
Because in that moment, she is taking on the role of an oppressed person, where like in other moments, I'm sure she's taking on the role of a proud person, right? But in that moment, the way to get you was to be like, you are punching down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a thing you can do in life. You can switch the perspective on your position in life and go, oh, I'm proud of being this person who overcomes and is proud. And I'm also a person that society is not so kind to. So like in that moment, the way to get you to look like a piece of shit because she wanted you to make you look like a piece of shit was to play that role.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. But it's like, oh, saying punching down, because if you had said out of nowhere, I'm punching down right now, people would have been like, whoa.
Yeah, you'd have been like, oh, excuse my jokes, I'm punching down. Like that would have, that
would have been like you saying you're not equal, but her saying it, no one's going to say that to her. That's a tough thing to come out of.
Well, it seems like that she's just obviously got a lot of internal issues with the
You know how I made myself feel better on the ride home? I convinced myself that she was one of those transgenders for Palestine. I was like, probably hates Jews. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know they'd stone her to death if she was there. I told my wife.
I do love the idea of a transgender Bane.
What age group was she like?
It was tough to tell. I would say maybe 30s.
Yeah.
On the way home, I said to my wife, I was like, well, I think I handled it as best as I could. And I've known this woman for over 30 years now. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen her laugh harder at me.
In the car?
Yeah,
or,
like gasping. Yeah. She's like, you think you handled that well? she's like, baby, you got through it.
Yeah, you survived the moment.
What were you supposed to do?
I don't know what I was supposed to do. I actually think that I could have turned it. It could have devolved into
screaming at the audience like
no, dude, that is one of those you need to survive this moments. That is not I could have really got everyone on my like. Sometimes you get a stupid drunk white
it's
dude
not like you
heckler,
could just shit on
and
this
if you
person.
don't handle it well, you're like, I could have fucking made that a really funny moment. You get mad at yourself. That's a tough one. Had you said anything truly mean? The crowd would have went further over the edge.
Yeah, it's not like this person's like, just drunk and rowdy. They're just obviously.
Yeah, and I wasn't like, you're a dude. No,
because then that'd be wrong. Yeah, I mean, that'd be fucked up.
Then you're like the Michael Richards of that situation.
Right. You know? I would have probably, I'm trying to think of, I would have probably just made it seem like I was a transgender too.
Like,
I'd be like, what? We're the same. And then just try to like deflect or something.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah. That's a tough one. Sometimes, when you hit on subject matter that is offensive to one person, and like sometimes because you don't know, like, it sucks when somebody's laughing at everything and then the second it hits home with them, they start fucking with you. It's like I had something recently with abortion jokes. It was like, everything was fine. And then like, it's like this one, and now I don't know if that woman had an abortion or was just very pro-life or whatever it was, but it was like the second it went there, it was like game over. And it just became this argument. And I tried. I didn't argue back really, but she was definitely looking for me to like almost apologize for it. It just sucks because it poisons the room a little bit. And so it was one of those things where it's not like she outwardly was like, I had an abortion, that's tough, or I am so good. She didn't see really. She just said like it wasn't funny. So I was able to like just do my material and get over it. But it's if someone's like, no, this is about me. Or this is about my kid or my family or my thing, then it's like, then they've played the victim card so effectively to the crowd that now it's hard to get back.
When the comic before me, when he was like, hey buddy, hey brother.
Yeah.
If she had said, I'm a woman, I never would have done the joke. You know what I mean? Like I never even would have. And now listen, that's on me because I'm in New Hope, Pennsylvania. And I should have expected half the town is transgender.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know anything about it. It's a very artsy liberal town.
Oh, okay, got it.
Very. So that could be on me, but there was no indication that this was anything.
Yeah, but also, I mean, just do your jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yes, but at the same time, I guess you also like, it's like whenever I do like the little blue collar.
I did a Narcotics Anonymous show a couple weeks ago. A Narcotics Anonymous show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was fine. I just made jokes like I should probably be party. I asked who in the crowd was a prostitute. Like half of them fucking raised their hands, Yeah,
like an alcoholic or someone who's a former drug addict. Those are people who know how to have fun anyway.
Yeah.
So they could laugh at it,
I don't know. I there's a part of me that like if someone gets upset about a joke I'm doing, like I just want to do it more.
Yep.
Yes, sure. It depends.
Like bring out a live baby and just kill it on stage. Just like, all right,
watch my abortion.
Throw it on them. Yeah.
Right, but it's like it's also like you got to know the crowd too, and you got to know like, is this going to be, can I go there and like most of the crowd's going to take this? Or is the crowd, sometimes if you're in, especially like a super liberal crowd, you can get to a point where you're like, they're not going to come with, the rest of the crowd's not going to come with me on this journey. It's not about offending that person, but no one else is going to join me. They're going to join that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it depends on the crowd.
Yeah, you don't want to.
And it's not necessarily just a liberal thing. I think super conservative towns are like that too, because I've dealt with that a lot. I think in like super blue collary places too. Like I feel like those are tough too, where you're like an abortion joke, for example. I don't know. For a period of my life, I just had a lot of abortion jokes.
Yeah.
And it was And it does not fly well with that crowd. And it's like, oh no, they're all on that person's side. That one person who's screaming at me, they're not on my. It's gonna be hard for me to win them back by going deeper on the thing that's actually like offends who they are. You know, so that's a tough one. But you had like an American Airlines landing. Yeah, you flopped over. Was it American Airlines the one that flipped over? Yeah. I've not done one of those shows. I've not done like a, recovery.
Yeah, it was interesting. A little bright in the room.
Very bright. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys.
It's
I would want the lights down.
The show is like 8 o'clock. Everyone's drinking coffee.
It actually was late. It was like a it was like a convention.
We cannot introduce darkness in this group.
Yeah.
They were at like a 2-day or 3-day convention. They pay for it. I was like astonished. I was like, you guys paid for this? To go here? I'm like, they don't pay you?
And it's all the same people. Joe would bring in different comics because he'd be like, they've seen my act. I can't even perform anymore.
Yeah, it's that group of.
Yeah, I did it with Mike Merkovich. And he was like, that half of them like knew him from last year.
Yeah. Michelle, do you have anything to plug?
So I'm doing, me and Pat Haggerty are producing shows on Staten Island. We have one, I think it's the second Wednesday of each month at Trackside.
Nice.
Yeah, Trackside Bar and Grill. And then on Thursdays, we do like a Chopin mic. So people are booked, but like you can also get up and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's at Paradise Island. Terrible promoting myself. It's Paradise Island on Thursdays. And
that's Staten Island too?
Yeah, Staten Island.
Got it. That doesn't sound like a place in Staten Island.
I know. Yeah, it's like South Shore. It's actually close to.
It's actually, but people who live in Staten Island do believe.
Yeah, it's pretty much like
Staten
Jersey.
Island is Paradise Island.
It's pretty much Jersey. It's like very, very close.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, probably closer. Probably the same amount of time here from Staten Island to my house. And that's it.
You got anything?
May 17th, I'm at the Dojo of Comedy with Adrian Appalucci, who is absolutely one of the funniest comics working right now, and this will definitely sell out. So go get tickets. May 30th and 31st, I'm headlining Sunshine City Comedy Club in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, nice.
For one of my best friends in the world, Kenny Garcia. He's put a really nice club together. And come see me there.
Nice.
All right. April 11th, 18th, and 19th, be at Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie. You'll be at Laugh It Up.
Yeah.
You'll be at Laugh It Up.
Don't let me forget Laugh It Up.
You'll be at Laugh It Up the day after me, right?
April 12th. I'm with the very funny Joe Mackey.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, and May
birthday.
8th, this is a really cool one. Smod Castle Cinemas. Ken and I will be putting together a show on behalf of A Bit Too Much, headliner Jim Florentine. SmodCastleCinemas.com. Get your tickets there. It's like $25 tickets. Like awesome price, great show. We'll have some other friends coming along to perform. It'll be a super fun show. All right, this is A Bit Too Much podcast, all the socials, and fucking click things and listen more. Right?
Thanks for having me.
Is that a good call to action?
Thank you for coming on. This was great. Thank you.